Couple trailers came out today. Right now, I'm going to watch the He-Man trailer that came out. I did watch it a little bit before, but now it's time to break it down and pause multiple times so then YouTube will not take down this video or this live stream, which I do live stream all the stuff I go through. But trust me, maybe you want something a bit smaller, but I pretty much go into some detail of all the history with this because He-Man's been here for a while. He-Man has been here since the 80s. You know, companies were trying to make shows for kids to buy toys. That was the main thing. You could look at Transformers as well. Transformers, the same thing there. It's lasted a long time because it's very creative. It's very crazy, as much as Transformers is. By that, I mean crazy is like the characters in general. They thought literally everything. The craziest one to me is Mechanic. Mechanic is probably one of the most badass characters in the world, but all he does is make his neck bigger, and also he can see pretty far. Let's watch the trailer.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as...
Okay, so what I already noticed when it comes to this trailer, I keep in mind again, sorry, I have to pause a lot. I'll try to pause as less as I can. But again, we're trying to make sure that YouTube doesn't take anything down. They've gone to great lengths to kind of put more of the color into this and put more of what the characters were back in the 80s, because the sword right now, it looks like legit the sword from the 80s. Where before, when they did another movie in 87 with Dolph Lundgren, they changed a lot of stuff. The look and the swords, the characters, everything in general. But also what they're doing, same thing here as previous with the Dolph Lundgren one, is he's not in Eternia. He's not there. He's going to be somewhere else first.
Mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real. Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you.
I don't know what place this is. Like, I don't know if the running gag would be like, here's Chicago, here's Detroit, here's New York City. They'll never look there, but everything happens in, or Seattle, you know, who knows? But again, it's that whole thing, because there's been a lot of animes or shows in general of like, man gets tossed into the world that he wasn't in before. But here, he was born in some other world, came to Earth, and now he's going back to the world he like was in. So let's see how that plays out. You know, I my worry is that with the 87 one, there wasn't enough Eternia. It was just a desert, just nothing. Where we did see some scenery, but I would hate the fact that we just get flashbacks of a battle. We never see any big fights, and all it is that he makes it back to Eternia at the end. I would hate that.
There's
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
The power sword.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry, the sword's mine.
This summer. Okay, another thing real quick, I have to pause like I said a couple times. The issue I think a lot of guys are going to have is that they need the memes of the 80s. They need the memes of Skeletor being a goofy villain. They need some stuff in there. But then also, I grew up with a lot of the 2002 series where the tone was a bit darker, but they still had some of the jokes. It was pretty funny.
Wait a minute, you're trying to fool the belt! You think that if you pretend to be nice, it won't weaken you.
Pretend? Who's pretending? I am nice.
But that's the issue here, is like, what balance will they have? There's a big meme of He-Man. What tone do you think they should have for this movie? Should it be serious and funny, or mostly funny? Because with a lot of the characters, a lot of the creatures, it's a really goofy tone.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms is a crazy idea for me, but it works. It works. I'm curious to know if he's just a big fan of He-Man, because I just would not picture myself maybe 5 years ago, like not even last year. Like when I found out that he was part of this movie and then I found out that he was Man-at-Arms, I was just flabbergasted because of course we're all kids. We all grew up with certain things, but when you see Idris Elba in certain things like Luther or, even, God, my brain is blanking, but he was in Suicide Squad. He's just having fun. He's being another superhero in a different world. He's a man at arms. Just it's crazy to me. But I'm so down to see him just kicking ass, shooting guns, and just being in this world.
What am I supposed to do?
Sorry, I had to pause real fast. Skeletor looks so sick, but I do know there's a big issue that people have with the casting, which I will say in a minute. But of course, I don't think he's going to bring some humor into it, because there have been a lot of good voices over the years for Skeletor, and he is a very memeable character.
It's the sorceress, you boob! Just as I suspected. Hollow, you metal-munching moron! You tin-tongued dolt! I'm talking about my patients, not my body!
The sword. You protect them.
Okay, I have to pause for a second. It's been a good minute since I paused. I forget that Alison Brie is Evelyn. Evelyn is a sorceress. Of course, when people know the character, they're just like, oh, Evelyn. Yeah, of course, I know who that is. Some people don't. And it's crazy to me. Again, another person. She has some comedy chops. I loved her in Community. And it's such a crazy thing that she's going to be Evelyn in here. I really hope with those comedic chops that they do put a little bit of humor in here, because it's just... It's right there. It's right there. You got it. Just, if you don't do it, even I'm like, come on.
I have the power!
He looks amazing. Skeletor looks glorious, and all of Skeletor that he is. It's Jared Leto.
No.
Now, as a fan of some things as I grew up, I'm just trying to make a point of just bringing up Tron that just came out in 2025. I didn't really care to see it because of the casting, and then of course I heard that it wasn't the best movie in the world, which it's whatever, but I'll probably watch it at some point because it visually looked great, soundtrack and all. I was like, maybe I want to see this, and then you get later in the trailer, of course, here you don't see Jared Leto. He's not a skeleton face. Maybe some people believe that his face is that, but when I hear Jared Leto, I just think Morbius. He's really gotten the ringer of just a lot of bad publicity, and I really do hope that they just do something with the character and it's not focused on the guy. It's just his voice, guys. I'm hoping something better happens here. That's simple as that. It's a funny, weird world, and I hope they do have a lot of fun with it. But also, it's a weird thing to ask for this, but if they take themselves seriously in this weird, goofy concept, I think they could actually make something very, very good. But you just don't know nowadays when it comes to movies. I just hope for the best. What do you think? Do you think this is something you want to see? Is it even on your radar? Lately, I've been just wanting to go to see movies and see a great spectacle. And with this, there's a big world of a big battle that might happen here. And I think I'm definitely going to go see this in theaters.